Dato, Letty, and I challenged the new kid to a race to see who can get there first. Just some fun after all this. Personally, I thought Dato would win. He's a real speedster, that one. Yuna was the referee. I remember it clearly. It was cute. As soon as she gave the go, she ran in front of everyone. Letty and Dato ran right after. Next thing I knew, they were running back, screaming their heads off as they ran for their life. I screamed for the rest of the team to come, as a sin spawn was there. It's an ugly thing to be sure, protected with plate-like leaves that don't let anything hit it. It also had massive tentacles that came out of the ground from either side to surround us. A nasty strategy this one had. Of course, since it was a plant, I did my fire elemental reels. That one sure made it hurt. Not to mention that it also killed off one of the tentacles. That one powerful hit seemed to garner its full attention as it opened up from under its armored leaves and revealed its true ugly ass form. This Sinspun sure was fond of spitting venom, raking all of us with its staccato-like tentacle attacks, and thankfully it was one of the weaker spawns of Sin. I don't want to imagine what would have happened if this was a stronger one, like the one Bavel reported having a few years ago. Crashed through the roof of the building and caused a massive headache for everyone involved. It didn't take too long for it to fall to my mighty blitzball. After all, I didn't do all of that training and beat Ochu for nothing. That's the first time the new guy encountered the Sin spawn. Lulu and I had to explain to him how they work and where they come from. Terrible little creatures, I tell you. Of course, if he really did encounter Sin and lived, maybe, just maybe, Chapu was somewhere out there. Just how this guy says he's from 1,000 years ago, maybe Chapu is somewhere like 20 years in the future.
Maybe people sin gets to don't die. Maybe sin carries them through time, like 1,000 years through time. And then one day, maybe they just pop back, see?
Amazing. Simply amazing. You make
At least
everyone
that's what I
feel
hoped.
after
I mean,
another.
Chapu could still be out there, somewhere, right? He'll just appear out of nowhere, right? Lulu shut that down pretty damn quickly though. We continued our way up the stairs until we reached the temple. Surprisingly, the Luca goers were also there, saying they pray for a challenge, some competition this year. We'll show them a challenge. This year, we are taking the cup. You wouldn't believe how angry I was at them right then and there. Thankfully, the Hymn of the Faith does wonders to calm people down. Me included, of course. In the temple, we made yet another acquaintance. A summoner this time. A scantily clad one, but to each their own. She has a big guy with her, and when I say big, I mean big. Dude is wider than Kimari. A Yevon damned Ronso. Donna, the summoner, is quite the rude person, saying how she only needs one guardian, that he is far superior than any of us.
Whatever were you thinking?
Yuna stepped up like a boss bitch and kindly told her to get a life and stop looking like some third-rate hoe that not even the most desperate of pimps would take in. After the attention-seeking little slut leaves, we go to the Cloister of Trials. Not long after we got there, and Yuna went into the Chamber of the Faith, the new guy showed up. Remember, he's still not a guardian at this point. If the temple finds out, Yuna could get into some serious trouble. Thankfully, Yuna was a lot faster this time around with praying to the faith, and we managed to get out sooner without the temple realizing anything was suspicious. One thing that really threw me off guard was how Yuna and the new guy talked, and he just kinda started screaming like crazy. I wonder what was going through his head. Yuna didn't mention anything to the rest of us. I hope he's okay. Later on, while going back, I did some more training, but not much, as we needed to head off to the ship and leave for Luca. After all, the tournament is tomorrow, and we need to get a good night's sleep. Now, the thing that happened next was a complete shock, yet something that made me so confident that we are unable to lose in the tournament. I watched, along with the other team members, as the Zanarkand Blitzwiz did some crazy ass move. He spun and shot the ball at like 100 kilometers per hour. With something like that up our sleeve, there is simply no way we could lose. And you can bet that I went to sleep with a smile on my face that night. Nothing is going to stop us this year.